Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jaded Genie, and I'm here with another Askreddit video. Today's video is what's the worst case of rich kid syndrome you've ever seen? In high school, a kid was bragging that he got into his third fender bender in his old car, 3 years old, that his parents gave him but he hated, so his parents were buying him an entirely new car to incentivize him to drive better. In middle school, we were asked to draw our homes for some assignment and hand it in at the end of class. A popular, extremely wealthy kid that sat behind me raised his hand and smugly asked the teacher for another sheet of paper because he couldn't draw it all in one page. His friends just snickered, but I was cringing. Even at 12 years old, I remember thinking it was such a snobby thing to say. I work for a dentist, and her son is a spoiled brat. He was at the office one day because she had to bring him to an appointment later that day. He got bored and went out wandering around some of the local shops. He came back a little while later and without any preamble walked up to her and said, "Give me $80. She asked him what it was for, and he just repeated himself, and then she gave it to him. Knew this one guy at my college who didn't understand why everybody is so worked up about student loans. I remember him saying something along the lines of, "Why don't people just pay the tuition up front?" He was also quite sheltered. The Nintendo DS had just come out. It was like $150, and my family lived in a cramped one-bedroom apartment and drove a 20-year-old car that was always breaking down. We ate those cheap bags of Walmart beans and rice for months at one point. I expressed the desire to own a DS after one of my friends said he had one, and I got, "Why can't your parents just buy you one? I don't get it, it's dirt cheap." He didn't want to be my friend after that anymore, literally avoided me and made fun of me for the rest of the year behind my back. I'm still salty about it. Maybe not rich kid syndrome, but definitely middle class syndrome. I worked at a Starbucks and we hired a new guy who I was training. At one point, I had to show him how to clean the restrooms. I grab the bleach and hand him a pair of gloves, and he looks at me in disgust and says, "We don't have a maid to clean the bathrooms?" He quit the next day. My best friend's wife teaches at a ritzy $40K per year private school, as in $40,000 a year for elementary and middle school. I think high school is like $50,000. Well, anyway, she teaches 7th or 8th grade, I can't remember, and she says that she always goes around the class after the summer break and asks them what they did over the summer. And she particularly remembers one kid complaining about how much his summer sucked because he was stuck on his parents' yacht all summer and they didn't even take it to anywhere cool, just Italy. My brother works at a rehab center for the kids of wealthy parents. He's always got stories, but the one that sticks with me the most was a kid who was in trouble with the law and doing rehab before his court appearances. You know, to look like a better person and hopefully the judge would go easy on him. He was mopey one day and my brother asked him what's wrong. The kid starts talking about how rough the whole experience has been for him, how it's been so hard on his family that his parents had to sell his house to pay for his rehab. My brother felt sympathetic and says, "Damn, that sucks that your parents had to sell their house for this." To which the kid said, "No, they kept their house. They had to sell mine." I babysat some rich kids. A couple gems were when we were watching a movie and she said someone was ugly because they were poor. Another was that they left their stove at the side of the road for hobos. This kid was about 11. Went to a destination wedding in a Mexican resort. Rich kids rented a golf cart, tore through the streets, and flipped the cart, injuring people and causing a huge commotion and traffic jam. A Mexican lady comes out and begins to scold them for their behavior. "You wouldn't act this way at home." Rich kid responds, "I promise you, we do." It was the earnestness of his reply that got me. Friend got a theater with an arcade built over their family's 12-car garage. Parents didn't want the 5-year-old sister to be jealous, so they hired an architect to design and build her a fully functioning playhouse with a bathroom, AC, and bedroom. Just the tip of the iceberg with this family, though. Apparently, there was this 15-year-old girl who was going on an exotic vacation to some Pacific island or something. But her favorite show was on TV the day of their flight, and she really wanted to see it. Her parents delayed the flight just so that she could watch an episode of her favorite show. This girl would always brag about how she's been to every continent except Antarctica, and that she's visited so many countries. Then, she wonders why people called her the rich kid, and she insisted that she wasn't rich. One girl from my high school got breast implants for her 18th birthday. Her mom joined her as a mother-daughter bonding activity, followed by the daughter getting a brand new $90,000 Mercedes as a high school graduation gift. A friend of mine inherited a lot of money, enough to buy a house, and he spent it on 2 cars, a Subaru completely modded to Ken Block's version of it, and some BMW, both extremely expensive. We asked him a few months after why he didn't just buy a house with it, because he still lived with his parents. So he told us that he already owned a penthouse, he just didn't want to move yet. I worked as a bouncer at a high-end nightclub. The biggest boner of a rich kid, straight out of Malibu's Most Wanted, gets a VIP booth and bottle service. He racks up a massive bill trying to act like a baller. His credit card gets denied and he has to call his dad to come down at 1:30 a.m. because he can't order any more bottles. His dad comes down in his pajamas, obviously ashamed and furious at this douche of a kid. Ends up embarrassing the shit out of his kid in front of this whole group of friends. He takes the kid's keys and is about to leave when his kid makes some shitty comment and goes back in the club. The dad's about to walk away, and after he apologizes for his son, we offer to drag him out the rough way. He smiles and accepts. That kid hit every door and step on the way out. Not the best story, but one of the most satisfying experiences working at that club. In middle school, a repairman was working on a broken AC in our class. This kid kept making fun of how dirty he looked. The repairman finally had enough of it and requested the kid to come down to the principal's office with him. Kid started screaming stupid shit like, "How dare you talk back to me? Do you know who my dad is? Don't you dare touch me, you're filthy." At that moment, I lost all faith in humanity. She got a new, super expensive phone for Christmas, then got a new, even more expensive phone for Valentine's Day, gave the old one to one of her friends, constantly has super expensive items, and her dad drives her to school every day in his Lamborghini, and she's picked up in a limo. Super bratty and can't stand it when something doesn't go her way, or when she isn't put in charge. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Again, my name is Jaded Genie, and I'll see you on the next episode.